if you're new here, welcome to Kaiti Draws. I like to draw goddesses and heroines from all across the globe, and I like to learn about them at the same time and share my knowledge with you. If this is something that you actually do enjoy, make sure to subscribe and to like, also to comment. I'm really excited to start creating a bigger community of people that really like mythology and want to learn about history and stuff like that, because I find it hard to find people to talk to about this stuff. I think I just get a little too excited, honestly. That's probably on me. So on today's video, this is actually part 2 of 5, and I know it's going to take me forever because this is like a 2.5 month trek and journey of exploring goddesses, but we are learning about the Tibetan Buddhist Tsringma Sisters, who are all goddesses associated with Mount Everest, actually, in the Himalayas. So it's very, very cool. So like I said, this is a 5-parter. This is part 2. The goddess we will be talking about today is Taykar Drozangma. I believe I'm saying that correctly. We'll see. We will not only just be exploring the goddess, but because it's such a long part, like 5-parter, today we are also going to do a deep dive in Tibetan Buddhism specifically. And we're going to look at the school of Nainggma and definitely dissect all of that, or at least try my best. I'm not a Buddhist scholar, so I might, I try to cite everything that I research, but yes. So that is kind of what we're going to be doing today. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's learn a little bit about Tibetan Buddhism. Full disclosure, this is a very, very broad brushstroke of Buddhism, even the Nainggma sect. To fully understand the full spectrum of this religion, there are plenty of religious texts, events, lamas, holy people to pull information from. I could have multiple classes and videos that would explain Buddhism, but it just wouldn't break the surface. It's a very complex and rich philosophy and religion. I am not a Buddhist practitioner, nor am I a specialist in this field, so most of everything you will learn today is from a very basic understanding. So strap in, let's get into Buddhism. So many of us know the story of Siddharth Gautama, or the Buddha. He lived during the 5th century BC. He was a wealthy prince from Nepal who had a fascination with suffering. He gave up his really wealthy lifestyle to endure poverty, which clearly was not fulfilling. Then he learned about the, quote, middle way, where he would not be deprived or indulgent. 6 years of seeking answers, Gautama found enlightenment from meditating under a Bodhi tree. At least that's the theory. Then he went to go teach about this awesome, fantastic thing to everybody else. Hooray for us! So some things that the Buddha, or the enlightened one, found. The goal is to achieve enlightenment, which is a state of inner peace and wisdom. Once you experience this, you have found nirvana, not the band. The Buddha is not a god. Buddhism is vastly different depending on where and who you are. It is an ever-evolving religion. That adds to its complexity. A few things that seem consistent, though, are the concept of karma, which is the law of cause and effect. And yes, if you wish ill on somebody, or ill karma on someone, that will actually put you in a bad place of karma. Or if you expect bad karma to go to somebody because they did you a disservice, then you might have bad karma. It's a vicious cycle. Speaking of cycles, Buddhists believe in reincarnation. It's a continuous cycle of rebirth. They also believe that we should not be indulgent. I'm looking at us, America. But also, we should avoid self-denial. Also, again, America. Buddha's most important teachings are the Four Noble Truths. They are essential to understanding the religion. The Four Noble Truths are the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path that frees us from suffering. Obviously, these principles explain why humans hurt and how to overcome, you guessed it, suffering. Can you see why this is extra complicated? If we knew how to stop suffering and it was that easy, we would all be living in heaven right now. The Buddha taught his followers that the end of suffering, as described in the Four Noble Truths, could be achieved by following the Eightfold Path. In no particular order, the Eightfold Path of Buddhism teaches the following ideals for ethical conduct, mental discipline, and achieving wisdom. Another thing we need to talk about is Dharma, also known as the Buddha's teachings. He taught that wisdom, kindness, patience, generosity, and compassion were important virtues. Specifically, all Buddhists live by 5 moral precepts which prohibit killing living things, taking what is not given, sexual misconduct, lying, using drugs or alcohol. I've already messed up on it, I think 3. We have 3 major Buddhist sects, and I'm not going to go over each one in detail, but I have provided links down below if you want to explore that. We have Theravada Buddhism, we have Mahayana Buddhism, and finally, Tibetan Buddhism. In Tibet, the Dalai Lama is the leading monk in Tibetan Buddhism. Followers of the religion believe that the Dalai Lama is a reincarnation of a past Lama that has agreed to be born again to help humanity. There have been 14 Dalai Lamas throughout history. All right, there we have Buddhism in a nutshell, a very basic nutshell. Now, let's talk about Nainggma, the first of the 4 main lineages of Tibetan Buddhism. Nainggma means ancient and old in Tibetan language. We have a bit of a division here on the origins of the Nainggma tradition. There are quite a few theories. An example is that their teachings can be traced back to the first primordial Buddha. It is believed that Padmasambhava, an Indian guru, was invited to Tibet by the Emperor of Tibet to share the teachings of Buddhism around 760 AD. We also have a Tibetan emperor who married a Chinese woman who was also Buddhist. There's a lot of history there. We will go over that in a later video. During that time, there were over 100 translators brought to Tibet, spending years to translate large scripts of Dharma teachings. Those scriptures formed the base of the development of Buddhism in Tibet. All right, this is where things get a little complicated. Tibetan Buddhist teachings are classified into 9 yanas, also called vehicles. These are successive stages within the Nainggma school, and Dzogchen is the most important. Dzogchen, or also called the Great Perfection, is the distinctive practice and view which is the focus of Nainggma. It is seen as the ultimate understanding of the nature of the mind, which is known as Rigpa. This is a complex concept itself, but some things I am understanding about Rigpa is that it could mean that you are able, once you understand it and have practiced enough, you can accomplish spontaneous presence or knowledge of the ground. And my interpretation of that is being basically grounded and present without any exterior physical, spiritual, emotional distortions. Basically, it is what it is, and I'm not in any denial about things around me. Also, from my understanding, you have to learn this technique from a Dzogchen master. Many of these practices and concepts are very difficult to understand, mostly because I do not practice it, but it does sound really interesting. Down below in the description, the first YouTube video I have linked is actually from the Dalai Lama's channel that explains Dzogchen in greater detail. It's about an hour. I highly suggest watching it. The Nainggma teachings are divided into the long transmission of Kama and the short transmission of Terma. Other teachings were received by masters directly in pure visions from deities or gurus, in experiences, or in dreams. So that's a really interesting concept too. Kama means the words of the Buddha. In general, it refers to all the teachings given by the Buddha. So that's what Kama means. And Terma we talk about a little bit more. Termas mean hidden treasure or spiritual treasures, and usually that refers to treasures that were hidden by Guru Rinpoche or Padmasambhava. When Buddhism was declining in Tibet, Padmasambhava and his disciples hid numerous scriptures, ritual objects, and relics in caves on mountains. Over time, when they were discovered, the teachings were compiled into what we call the Treasury of Precious Termas. My understanding is that this compilation is a bunch of teachings from the Buddhas and higher beings. Nainggma, or Nainggmapa, is closely related to the Bon religion, which was the original local religion in Tibet, allegedly. It's possible that it might have actually been around before Buddhism arrived. This could be why we do see gods and goddesses in Tibetan Buddhism more specifically. Many of them are called Dharmapalas, or protectors of Buddhism, usually a, quote, wrathful god. And we will talk more about Dharmapalas and the Bon religion in our next video, so stay tuned. But we finally are being brought all the way around to this lovely lady here, this goddess. Her name is Taykar Drozangma, or Takar Drozangma. She is the green long life sister who increases one's inner vitality, regeneration, and life force. She prevents harmful Nagas from stealing away one's life force or causing diseases. If you've ever played an MMO or a video game, you probably know what a Naga is, but if you haven't, no worries. This nerd has you covered. They are mythical creatures that are half human and half cobra. They're very strong. They can assume either a wholly human or wholly serpentine form, and they can be very dangerous, but they could be beneficial to humans, depending on the myth. Drozangma rides a female turquoise green dragon while holding durva grass on one hand and a snake noose on the other. She commands all minor Naga spirits and exercises influence over the elements. She protects against natural disasters, epidemics, and contagious diseases. Drozangma guards from her palace in the north. I think we're gonna need more Taykar in our lives right now. In Tibetan Buddhist art, Takar Drozangma's dragon ranges from a very green to very blue, depending on where you look. I wanted to separate the two colors between her, a very rich forest green, from her dragon, which appears to be more blue or aqua. I also really love the depiction of dragons in Asian art. It's one of my favorites. So I really wanted to experiment with it, and you can tell I put a lot of detail into the dragon. I wanted her to appear strong. She is riding a dragon after all. She seems to be the most enduring as far as the Tsringma Sisters or the Long Life Sisters, so I gave her a more stern face, more neutral but strong. In a lot of Tibetan Buddhist art, Takar Drozangma is actually surrounded by a gray clouds or waves or even looking like flames, versus her counterpart, Nainggma, who clearly has more white clouds and mountains, and I'm not able to find out why. Because I made Takar very colorful, the gray background fit the aesthetic I was going for. I hope you enjoy. So I hope my video helped explain parts of Buddhism in general if you've never explored that religion before, and especially the Nainggma sect or Tibetan Buddhism. Again, I could talk about this all day. If you want to learn more or have more information, check out the description down below. I have plenty of links to direct you to all the different places. So definitely check those out if you want to go enhance your knowledge on Tibetan Buddhism. It's really cool. I highly suggest it. So next time in 2 weeks, because I post every other Wednesday, we are going to go over the third Tsringma sister, and I believe her name is Pt.2 Drozangma. And I apologize if my pronunciations are not correct. First of all, I cannot figure out exactly how to pronounce them. There's not a lot of information out there about these goddesses, and at least the pronunciations. And two, even Siddhartha Gautama has numerous pronunciations. So I apologize if I was wrong in a lot of these places, and I am more than happy to be corrected. Direct me in the right place. Definitely do that. I'm no shame here. I totally understand. I'm not going to get this right all the time. Alongside the third goddess, Pen Drozangma, we will be exploring Dharmapalas, and I believe we're going to go explore more of the Bon religion itself. I'm looking forward to this because this is something I've always wanted to dive into. This is the religion that is allegedly the first religion, or the indigenous people's religion of Tibet, and it might have predated Buddhism. So we'll see, but look forward to that next time in 2 weeks. Again, the best way to support me is by subscribing and liking and commenting on all of my videos. If this is something that you do enjoy and you have friends that enjoy this stuff too, spread the word. I want to start getting a bigger community of people that like this kind of stuff. If you guys enjoy my art, come check me out on Instagram. I do have a TikTok, but sad to say, I'm very slow on the uptake here. I feel kind of old, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not doing the best there. I also have a website, www.ktdroz.com. Hopefully I'll have a store someday coming up. There's just a lot of projects going on. But I would love to see everybody there, and I hope I will see you guys next time.